at that time was reading the Quran and still respect Islam. So I feel my point is that my quest has been to seek and find God in the best way and let that flow through my life, like in the way I act towards myself and towards others. And that's how it goes.
The biggest change you've made in the last 3 years to your character?
The biggest change I've made in the last 3 years is I've been communicating more by taking inventory of my own feelings and really like not just doing it at a time where I'm super emotional, like when I'm super like angry or pissed or hurt, taking inventory of it and being able to say, this is how I feel, and communicate that to somebody, including my mother, if I'm in a relationship, my team, another artist. But I just feel like within the past 3 years, I've been able to communicate better to my daughter, all of it.
You write about it in your book, which we'll talk about in a second, but I had Jason Wilson on the show, who is a man teaching men how to be men. And one of the things he talks about is being able to express your emotions and what you're actually feeling, because we're not conditioned that way. Just like we're not actually conditioned to spread love with one another, particularly in the Black community. Black men are not conditioned to express themselves. There's something weak that we say, you're weak or you're punk or you're soft if you express your emotions, if you express how you feel. And Jason's like just the opposite. That's just the opposite.
I mean, I definitely have felt like the strongest and most courageous people I know are the people that express themselves. I always have respected them, even at times where I might have been part of the culture of like, man, why this person crying and blah, blah, blah. But me, myself, shoot, I cried. So I was like, I need to just be able to be who I am, express when I'm going through something. Look, I'm going through it. And let me acknowledge that. Because otherwise, you really carrying around some weight and you like hiding it, and it's like it becomes something that weighs you down, and you're not even able to express the fullness of you and the happiness of who you are as a person and the wholeness of that, because deep down inside you still may have some anger or some resentment and you haven't like acknowledged it.
Let Love Have the Last Word. That's Common's latest book, and he also has an album coming out August 30th by a similar title, Let Love. And in your book, some of the realest commentary, I was like, when you were talking about your daughter and not being there for her, and feeling guilty about that. I know that there are parents all over the globe who have similar feelings, and to reconcile with that reality, because you can't get that time back.
Yeah. So it was definitely it was an eye opener for me when she confronted me and said, hey, I don't feel like you was a good father all the time. Like, it's times where, because in my heart, I'm like, man, I'm thinking I'm
I'm providing. Yeah, she got everything.
Yeah. And I'm thinking she feels this love. Like, but what I talk about in the book is just because I give love doesn't mean that that's the way the person is receiving it. And I had to respect that she felt that it was times that I didn't fight for her to do certain things, or she felt that I wasn't there enough because I was on the road. So, and even in love, to me, even if you don't agree, love is about hearing that person out and listening to them and working to try to understand them. And that's what I did with her. And we've had a better relationship for it, like communicating. That's what when I was talking about one of the things in the past 3 years that I feel I've done differently, having her communicate to me has been a joy, because she was harboring her own feelings and felt like she had to not be able to say some of the things she felt, because at one point in her life, she felt like, I better not make my dad upset or he may go. So, and that wasn't the case, but that's how she felt, and she didn't know how to communicate that. And until she became a young adult, and then she was like, look, these are the things that I wish you had done. And we was able to discuss it, and we had our own therapy session. things been really beautiful for us, and it's growing. It's getting better. So yeah, I talk about it in the book. I have a song called "Show Me That You Love" that I just shot a video for, and my daughter is in it, Amoye is in it, and it's a touching video, and the song is dealing with that subject.
That's on the new album.
Yeah.
Let Love, coming out August 30th.
Yes.
So you've been in love. Have you been in love? Are you
Yes.
in love right now, Common?
I've been in love. I've been in love. Yes, I would say 2 to 3 times. I'm in a relationship now, and it's been really good.
Are you in love?
I would say I definitely love the person, and I feel like in love now is a different thing for me.
What define it? Because I was going to ask you to define love, but define in love and where you are.
Okay, so in love, I used to think in love was when you get those butterflies and you can't, you lead a person and y'all talking 10 minutes later, like, and you like thinking about them all the time, and that's it. And I don't think it's anything the matter with those things, but now I think being in love as you can have those feelings, but it's also like the practice of loving someone, being in love, like acting, like figuring out, like, man, these are some things that I may not like about you, but I'm going to work through it because I love you. And in that love, I'm going to act on these things in this way, and I'm going to like work on myself to be better so I could be better in this relationship. So in love now for me is an action word, and before it was just a feeling.
And when the feeling went away,
I went away.
Right.
To a certain degree.
Now the man that you are now, because some of your relationships were very public. I was rooting for a few of them myself.
Which one?
I really wanted you and Erica to work out.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know if you were you really with Serena?
Yeah, I was with
okay.
Serena, yeah.
I really wanted that for her and for you.
Yeah.
I just something about that. I was like, yeah, that felt good.
Yeah.
If you had to go back with the man that you are now, do you think you could have made those relationships? Was it a you problem? Was it a Common? Was it a Rashid problem? Or was it just bad timing?
I think it was definitely, I take some responsibility in the fact that some of that was me for sure. Like, I don't think I was evolved enough to know how to deal with certain situations and relationships and commitment where that floaty feeling goes away and the work comes into play, and like everything ain't good, but you have to work through it, and especially if it's like overall somebody you feel that you can spend the rest of your life with, then you don't have to run away. But that part of that is working on self. So I take responsibility in that. And some of it was timing. Like, I don't think, in dating Serena specifically, I think at that time she still was building herself, like, and growing as a young woman and finding out what she wanted in life. So it just was, the timing wasn't right for that. And Erica, I think we had a great relationship. I think that was one of those soulmate connections that ends up being like, okay, it's not for a lifetime. It's for that period.
For that time.
We got that period and that time period that we learn these lessons, we experience it, and we benefit each other. And even through the pain of what happened, you still benefited. Like I still grew from the breakup. So
did you?
Yeah. I mean, because breakups, I think like in any real challenging situation in life, if you choose to get the lessons out of it and see what the benefits are and like what the purpose of it is in your life, then you will get the jewels. You will get you will become a better person from it. And that's any challenge, the most difficult ones. So that was one of the most challenging things I had encountered in my life at that time. It was the breakup with Erica, because, I had some friends pass, and that's a tough thing to go through. But that's a little out of your control to a certain degree.
Right.
But it's still a process. And but the grief of a relationship dying and the person, you still see the person
all the damn time, and y'all share a Grammy and stuff.
Yeah, you share the Grammy, and people come up to you
and always asking,
where's Erica?
Right.
You like, man, can I not think about this for a second? Like, let me.
Can I heal?
Yeah, I need. Yeah, so having a public relationship too was I had to learn a lot from that.
All right. Your definition of love we got. Who are you? Okay, so you got the longest name I've seen in a while.
No. Can I tell you, somebody goes on my Wikipedia
and throws names up there?
My name is Lonnie Rashid Lynn. That's it.
Okay, so all these other names, somebody jacked up here.
And we corrected
Wikipedia is not the news. That's not where you get information, people. Yeah. Wikipedia is a scam.
Yes, I mean, well,
allegedly.
Probably everything else is legitimate, but I don't know why.
It's like,
people
what?
Are playing with
Who's
my name
current?
It's like, who would have that many names?
Yeah, all right. But you go by Rashid, not Lonnie, which is your dad's name. What? So, and are you religiously? Are you just spiritual? Or are you practicing one particular faith?
Well, my dad named me after him, Lonnie, and Rashid is a Muslim name, which means guide to the right path. And he said he wanted to mix a Christian name with a Muslim name because he felt that Christians and Muslims should get along. It's all to one God. Well, I believe in the same thing. Though my pathway to God has been through Christianity, I still believe that Muslims are praying to God and they are seeking God in the way that I am. It's just, I believe, I said that Jesus Christ is one of the teachers that I follow, but I also have been in class of Buddhism, like not class, but been studied Buddhism and learned about Buddhism and still subscribe to certain mantras they have, and will definitely participate in yoga and different things like that. I believe God shows up in different spiritual practices, meditation, all the mindfulness, and go through Islam, Buddhism, Judaism. I believe in that God. So I'm to sum it up, I say I'm a spiritual person more than anything. But if I have to identify, I'm gonna say I am a Christian that believes in and embraces all spiritual practices.
I love that. Me too.
Yes.
You say you read the Bible frequently? What's your favorite Bible verse, or what do you draw to on a regular basis? What do you come back to?
I come back to 1 Corinthians 13.
Love. There we go. Love, yeah. I see you.
Yeah, love. It's something about that, because it's and one thing it said, love keeps no record of wrongs, and I'm like, wow. Okay, I gotta strive to live this, and love is kind, and like all those things that it talks about what love is. I'm like, if I live by this, I will have one of the greatest lives in the world. Like, because it just really sets the tone for how we can function in a world of not being so much sucked into what the world is pushing on us, like as we were talking earlier, and really just focusing on like being a God-like child. And I really love that 1 Corinthians. I actually put it on my album One Day It All Makes Sense, as on the back of the cover, and then have referred to it in my book, Let Love Have the Last Word.
And love is Let Love is the album. Let Love Have the Last Word. In addition to all of the music, which, I'm glad you're coming back to it, you know, and I feel like there was a time, like you came out during the wrong time in hip hop. It was like, Common now, Common then now, out of here, Pulitzer's just like Kendrick, right? Yeah. But you do have an Oscar for music, but also you've been acting a lot. I remember you in Smoking Aces with Alicia Keys and that girl. I don't even remember. I was like, when is Smoking Aces 2 coming? And y'all just didn't.
Yeah.
But then American Gangster, Just Right with Queen Latifah, of course, John Wick. Yes. And I just saw The Kitchen.
Mhm.
You're in there with Taraji and Melissa McCarthy and
Yeah,
I call it
Tiffany
Tiffany
Haddish.
Haddish.
Yeah,
That what I call Taraji,
yeah,
Tiffany Haddish.
yeah,
Apologies,
yeah.
Tiffany Haddish and what I call her
Uh,
Elmo,
uh,
Elizabeth Moss.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yes, because that's how I gotta remember it.
Yeah,
Woman from
she's a
Handmaid's Tales.
she's
Isn't
a
she
super
amazing?
actress. Yeah.
What do you most like about acting? Do you prefer acting over music? Probably already know the answer, but you're doing
Yeah.
more acting than I've seen in a while.
Yeah. Well, what I love about acting is that acting is always discovery in acting, meaning, and I love to learn. So I'm always learning as an actor. I'm learning about myself, learning about people, like in stepping into other people's lives and absorbing what a person does, and just talking to, like, even in the research of acting, I love, like, getting to know what a person thinks and talks. I really feel like I'm connecting with people in different ways, and it teaches me compassion in another way, and I love that I get to express myself, and it's a free thing. Like, you can't be cool as an actor.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
it's people
unless
that,
you playing a cool role.
unless you're playing a cool role. But I'm saying, when it's time to cry, when it's time to look goofy, when it's time to, like, be scared of something, you have to do it. And, you know, you have to get outside of your own, like, oh man, I'm cool. You got to be the character.
When did you know you could? Was this some agent saying, "Hey, Carmen, you should act"?
Well, you know, I've
Was that-
actually, you know, my manager told me that. Several people told me I should do it because different artists were transitioning into acting, and I didn't want to do it because of that. I had to do it because I love the art form. Because I didn't want to pursue anything where it's just like, yeah, let me do it for popularity. I'm the type of artist that I have to do it because I love it. Now, I wanted to reach the highest level. I wanted to be one of the great actors.
So you want to win an Oscar for your acting?
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes. But so I realized I could act when I went to my first acting class, and I was just like, man, this is really touching me in a way that it's not the same as, like, music, but I love it just as much. Like, I love, so if I wouldn't be able to say, oh, I love music more than I love acting. It's like, man, I love both of them, and I feel like they both gifts. And I started one earlier, but mind you, before it's all said and done, I'm gonna be one of the great actors.
All right, I sit corrected in my own mind. All right, you're the executive director of one of my favorite television shows, The Chi, and I'm incredibly hurt that one of the main characters will not be there next season. I don't know how y'all gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
But you're involved, right?
Yes,
And so, and it was unexpected. No one knew that this was gonna blow up like this in a bad way.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what y'all gonna do next season?
Well, you know, Karen, I can't tell.
Come
what
on,
we gonna
Carmen.
do. But I can say,
Are you gonna replace them like Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince?
that never works, man.
It worked for a season with Fresh Prince.
Okay, Fresh Prince was still great, but when you watch the reruns, you always love the original Aunt Viv.
Nah, I like the second Darren from Bewitched and the second Lamont. I like the first Lamont. No, I'm lying. From Good Time. For George Jefferson, from the Jefferson. I like the first Lamont. Yeah, he was dope. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's very rare. Let's say,
is it Lamont? What was his name? Was that Jefferson's son? Was it? What the hell? No, Lamont was Fred Sanford's son. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The son from Jefferson.
Lionel.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I like the first Lionel.
Yeah. I think the first Lionel was great too. Like, it's hard to, once you feel that connection with a character,
that is true.
And what you saying, like Jason Mitchell, who's a great actor, you felt that connection to him.
And I saw him because in Mudbound, and I mean, he jumps off the screen in a way because he's not your typical handsome dude.
Right.
He's without his shirt, with a pot belly, 3 months pregnant. I'm like, who is he fooling with the running? But I believe that he was jogging. You know what I'm saying? I believed him, and now all of this stuff, and I'm like, how are they gonna replace him? Y'all killing him off? Come on, Carmen, tell me.
Look, he's a super talented actor. But
He's
just
not
know this.
He's not going for it, y'all.
Our show will still be at a high level. It's still, we still got all these creative, talented people on there.
No, it's an ensemble.
So I mean,
But even the dude with the sneakers, who I love, he's tied it. Like everybody's tied into this Jason Mitchell character.
Yeah. But it's gonna work out.
Coogee.
We got Lena. We got Lena Waithe. Writing in an incredible team of writers. We gonna come up with it. It's the Chi. Baby.
Are you in it?
I don't know if I'm in it this season.
Okay. All right. Speaking of the Chi, which is a character in your life, Chicago native. I'm just gonna throw some names at you, rapid fire. Yeah. Okay. And just give me your first thought. Kanye West.
Genius.
Okay. I'm in a 30-day fast, right? I got it. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Genius.
Okay. R. Kelly.
I would say, what's the word? Needs love.
Pedophile? Okay. Love. All right. Okay. Oprah. She's not a Chicago native, but she's Chicago.
Queen and one of the most brightest stars ever. Like in a way. That meaning like she shines on the earth. Like when she goes, she glows. It's like she has that energy that's just, and she's very real. So I didn't give her the one word thing. She is like, she deserves a lot, man, because she does a lot for people and still it's fun and keeps, and stays in tune. It's just, just a beautiful human being.
Michelle Obama.
Man, one of the greatest people to walk the planet. Like,
do you have a story? Do you have a connection?
Yeah, I mean, we from the South Side together.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I've been able to sit down with her and have dinner and sip a little wine and just hear her talk for real. It just, she talks for real anyway. But, I talk about it in the book. She was giving me relationship advice and she is somebody that is like naturally just a welcoming person. Like you feel great around her. She's in tune with what's going on. She loved Beyonce to Janelle Monáe and like to just like Missy. And it's like, this person she was the first lady. And I feel so proud that she's from Chicago. And I wish my book would sell as much as hers.
Oh, well, listen, forget about it, all right? But it's still worth, y'all go get Let Love Have the Last Word. That's Common's book. Also, go to thinkcommon.com to find out where he's touring with the new album, Let Love. And you can also follow him at Common on the Twitter on the Instagrams. And catch him in whatever next movie. Do you know what you're in next?
I'm in a movie called Eve, starring Jessica Chastain. But that'll be out. I don't think that'll be out till next year. But I am looking to do some new great films really soon. All right. And I'll be able to come back to you one day and I'm gonna say, I told you I was gonna be one of the great.
Oh, I already predicted it. But let me just, when you sleep at night, when you're in your quiet time, are you Rashid or are you Common?
I'm Rashid all day. That's
all right.
it. Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
I mean, they close to Rashid and Common ain't much different. To me, it's like I express Common. Rashid is Common is an expression of Rashid anyway. And the only difference is I think on stage, I'm just a performer. So that's the Common in me. Okay.
Well, I'm glad I got to meet Mr. Lynn today. Yes. And it's been a pleasure to have you. And I thank you. Much success to you, brother. Much success.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. It's been great to talk to you.
You too. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We'll be right back. Can I get a drop? Can I get a drop? Thank you. Can you tell me you're like listening to the Karen Hunter Show on Sirius XM Urban View? This is Rashid. No, I'm just